The 12 days of Christmas, from December 25th to January 6th, Epiphany, echo the extended Yule season of Germanic tradition. Yule wasn't a single day, but a season. The feasting and celebration continued for weeks. The spirits were active. The gods were honored. When this season was Christianized, it became the period between Christmas and Epiphany, the arrival of the Magi. The extended celebration continued, just with different religious significance attached. Walk into any decorated home during Christmas season, and you're surrounded by paganism. The tree is pagan. The wreath is pagan. The holly is pagan. The mistletoe is pagan. The gift-giving echoes Saturnalia. The date honors the sun. The flying gift-bringer recalls Odin. The church tried for centuries to suppress or Christianize these elements. Church councils banned tree decorations. Preachers condemned holiday excess. Puritans even banned Christmas celebrations entirely. But the traditions survived. People loved them too much to let them go. The pagan heart of Christmas beat on beneath the Christian surface. If Jesus wasn't born on December 25th, when was he born? The Gospels provide some clues, though they're not definitive. Luke's Gospel mentions that shepherds were living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. This suggests a time when sheep were kept in the fields, which in Palestine would typically be spring through autumn, not winter. Matthew's Gospel describes wise men following a star. Various astronomical events have been proposed as this star, from planetary conjunctions to comets, each suggesting different dates. Neither Gospel gives a date. The closest we get is Luke's mention that Jesus was born during a census when Quirinius was governor of Syria, a detail that has created historical puzzles of its own. Early Christians proposed various dates for Jesus' birth. Clement of Alexandria, writing around 200 CE, mentioned that some Christians celebrated on May 20th, others on April 20th or 21st. The Eastern Church settled on January 6th, a date still observed as Christmas by some Orthodox churches. In the West, the December 25th date gradually became standard, first appearing in a Roman document from 336 CE. For the first 3 centuries of Christianity, Jesus' birthday wasn't a major celebration. Easter, commemorating his death and resurrection, was far more important. The birthday came later. Some scholars argue that December 25th was chosen through calculation, not pagan influence. The theory goes like this. Early Christians believed Jesus died on March 25th. They also believed that great prophets died on the same day they were conceived. Therefore, Jesus was conceived on March 25th. Count 9 months from conception, and you get December 25th. This calculation hypothesis explains the date without reference to pagan festivals. It was based on theology and ancient beliefs about sacred dates, not competition with Sol Invictus. The calculation hypothesis has problems, though. If December 25th was calculated, why does the Eastern Church celebrate on January 6th? They would presumably use the same calculation. The answer is that Eastern Christians used a different death date, April 6th. Add 9 months, and you get January 6th. But this raises more questions. Why different death dates? Neither March 25th nor April 6th corresponds to any plausible date for the historical crucifixion. It seems the calculation may have been reverse engineered to justify dates already chosen for other reasons, perhaps to coincide with existing festivals. The honest answer is, we don't know when Jesus was born. The evidence is insufficient to determine the actual date. We don't even know the year with certainty. Scholars propose dates ranging from 6 BCE to 4 BCE based on historical references in the Gospels. What we do know is that December 25th was not chosen because anyone had evidence it was the actual birthday. It was chosen for other reasons. Theological calculation, competition with pagan festivals, or some combination of both. The date is a construct, a decision made by human beings centuries after the event. It's tradition, not history. Does it matter that we don't know Jesus' real birthday, that December 25th was probably borrowed from pagan celebrations. For some believers, not at all. The meaning of Christmas, the celebration of the Incarnation, doesn't depend on the historical accuracy of the date. For others, the pagan origins are troubling. If Christmas is built on sun worship and Saturnalia, can it be a truly Christian celebration? This is a question each person must answer for themselves. But understanding the history, seeing the layers of tradition and the human decisions behind them, at least allows for an informed answer. The adoption of pagan dates and customs wasn't accidental. In many cases, it was deliberate strategy. Pope Gregory the Great, writing to missionaries in England around 601 CE, explicitly advised this approach. Don't destroy pagan temples, he wrote. Purify them with holy water and convert them to churches. Don't abolish pagan festivals. Transform them into Christian celebrations. For there is no doubt that it is impossible to efface everything at once from their obdurate minds, Gregory wrote. He who endeavors to ascend to the highest place rises by degrees or steps, and not by leaps. This policy of accommodation shaped how Christianity spread throughout Europe. All across the church calendar, we find evidence of this strategy. February the 2nd, Candlemas, the feast of the purification of Mary, falls 40 days after Christmas. It coincides with the ancient Roman festival of Lupercalia and various Celtic festivals. May Day celebrations were absorbed into feasts of the Virgin Mary and various saints. Midsummer festivals became the feast of John the Baptist. Halloween, the eve of All Saints' Day, preserves traditions from the Celtic festival of Samhain. Christmas was just one example of a broader pattern, taking what people already celebrated and giving it Christian meaning. Not everyone accepted this accommodation. Throughout Christian history, reformers have objected to the pagan elements in Christmas. They've seen the decorations, the feasting, the secular celebrations as corruptions of true faith. The Puritans in England and America banned Christmas celebrations entirely. In Massachusetts, celebrating Christmas was illegal from 1659 to 1681. The holiday was considered popish and pagan, but these reforms never stuck for long. People wanted their celebration. The traditions were too beloved. Christmas always came back. What emerged is the Christmas we know today, a synthesis of Christian theology and pagan tradition, sacred and secular intertwined. The nativity scene sits beside the Christmas tree. Carols about Christ alternate with songs about snow and Santa. Church services coexist with gift exchanges. Some see this as compromise, corruption of a holy day by worldly traditions. Others see it as inculturation, the gospel taking root in local soil and growing in local forms. Either way, the result is undeniably powerful. Christmas is the most widely celebrated holiday in the world. It has spread far beyond Christianity, observed even in non-Christian countries. The Christmas we celebrate today is largely a Victorian creation. Before the 19th century, Christmas was a minor holiday in many places. The Puritans had suppressed it. Work didn't stop. There was no extended holiday season. Writers like Charles Dickens, with A Christmas Carol, helped revive and reshape Christmas. The emphasis on family, generosity, and transformation of heart became central. Prince Albert introduced the German Christmas tree to England. Santa Claus evolved from various sources into his modern form. Christmas cards, Christmas crackers, Christmas traditions multiplied. What we think of as traditional Christmas is largely a 150-year-old invention built on older layers of tradition going back thousands of years. Jesus isn't the only God said to have been born on December 25th. The date was remarkably popular for divine births in the ancient world. This pattern raises obvious questions. Were all these gods born on the solstice? Because that's when ancient peoples celebrated the rebirth of the sun. Did later religions borrow from earlier ones? Let's look at some of these December 25th gods. Horus, the Egyptian god with the head of a falcon, was associated with the sun and kingship. His birth was celebrated in ancient Egypt, and some sources connect it to the winter solstice. Horus was conceived miraculously, born of the virgin goddess Isis after the death of his father Osiris. He battled Set, the god of chaos, and emerged victorious. The parallels to Jesus, miraculous conception, divine father, victory over evil, have been noted since ancient times and remain controversial today. Whether Horus was actually celebrated on December 25th is debated, but the solar associations of both figures are undeniable. Dionysus, the Greek god of wine, festivity, and ecstasy, had a complex birth mythology. He was twice born, first from his mother Semele, then from the thigh of Zeus. Some ancient sources place festivities for Dionysus around the winter solstice. As a god of vegetation who died and was reborn, he was naturally associated with the cycle of seasons. The Dionysian festivals featured wine, revelry, and transformation, elements that would echo in both Saturnalia and Christmas celebration. Attis was a god worshipped in Asia Minor, associated with the goddess Cybele. He died by castration under a pine tree in the myth and was reborn. The cult of Attis celebrated his death and resurrection with elaborate rituals, including a day of blood and a day of joy. The festival occurred in March, but some scholars have connected Attis to December 25th celebrations as well. The pine tree of Attis's death has been connected to Christmas tree traditions by some researchers, though this link is disputed. What do we make of all these dying and rising gods, these divine births around the solstice? One view is that Christianity borrowed directly from these pagan religions, consciously or unconsciously, adopting their mythological patterns. Another view is that all these religions independently developed similar myths because they reflect universal human experiences and natural cycles. The sun's annual death and rebirth inspired myths across cultures. A third view is that the similarities are exaggerated, that upon closer examination, the parallels aren't as striking as they first appear. The truth probably involves elements of all three: direct borrowing, independent development, and scholarly overreach all played roles. For Christians, the question is whether these parallels diminish Jesus' uniqueness. Some argue they do. If virgin births and December 25th birthdays and dying and rising gods are common mythological patterns, what makes Jesus different? Others argue they don't. Christianity claims not that Jesus is unique in every detail, but that he is the reality to which other myths pointed. The patterns exist because humanity was prepared, through myth and symbol, for the truth that arrived in Jesus. This is a theological question, not a historical one. History can show us the parallels. It cannot tell us what they mean. We've unwrapped the layers of Christmas. Beneath the modern celebration, we found Victorian inventions, the Christmas tree spreading from Germany, the Santa Claus taking shape, the holiday season as we know it emerging. Beneath that, we found the Church's strategic accommodation of pagan traditions, the deliberate Christianization of existing festivals. Beneath that, we found the Germanic traditions of Yule, the evergreen trees, the burning logs, the wild hunt, Odin flying through the winter sky. Beneath that, we found Roman Saturnalia, the week of feasting and gift-giving, the suspension of normal rules, the lord of misrule. Beneath that, we found the solar cults, Sol Invictus, Mithras born from rock, the birthday of the unconquered sun on December 25th. And beneath it all, we found the winter solstice, the astronomical event that has been celebrated by humanity for thousands of years. The return of light, the rebirth of hope. What does this mean for how we celebrate Christmas? For some, knowing the pagan origins might diminish the holiday. It might seem less sacred, more synthetic, a human construction rather than a divine gift. For others, the layered history adds richness. It connects us to ancestors across millennia, all of whom looked at the dark of winter and dared to celebrate the coming light. For others still, the origins don't matter. What matters is what Christmas means now, the time with family, the spirit of generosity, the story of a child born in a manger who changed the world. All of these responses are valid. History informs us. It doesn't dictate our conclusions. What's remarkable is how persistent these celebrations have been. Authorities have tried to suppress them. Puritans banned Christmas. Churches condemned pagan elements. Reformers preached against excess. But people kept celebrating. They kept bringing trees inside. They kept exchanging gifts. They kept feasting and drinking and making merry in the darkest season. There's something deeply human about this. When the nights are longest, we create light. When the world is coldest, we gather warmth. When nature seems dead, we affirm life. Whatever religious meaning we attach to it, the winter celebration answers a fundamental human need. Perhaps all these traditions, from Stonehenge to Santa Claus, are variations on a single theme. Light in darkness. The sun returns. The child is born. The evergreen endures. The fire burns. The feast is spread. The gifts are given. In the midst of winter, we celebrate hope. In the face of death, we affirm life. In the darkness, we kindle light. This is what our ancestors did at the winter solstice thousands of years ago. This is what we do at Christmas today. The specific beliefs change, but the human response to the darkest time remains. Christmas is pagan. Christmas is Christian. Christmas is Victorian. Christmas is commercial. Christmas is all of these things, layer upon layer, tradition upon tradition. Understanding its origins doesn't destroy its meaning. It reveals its meaning, or rather its many meanings accumulated over millennia. When you decorate your tree, you echo ancient veneration of the evergreen. When you exchange gifts, you participate in Saturnalia. When you celebrate on December 25th, you honor the birthday of the sun. And if you also celebrate the birth of Christ, you join a story that has been told for 2,000 years, a story that took on flesh in a particular time and place, but drew on deep wells of human longing and hope. Whatever Christmas means to you, may you find light in the darkness. This has been another journey into biblical mysteries. If this video illuminated the hidden history of your favorite holiday, subscribe and join us for more explorations into the surprising origins of the beliefs and traditions that shape our world. Next time, we'll examine the Council of Nicaea, where church leaders gathered to determine what Christians would believe for centuries to come. Until then, happy holidays, whatever their origins. May your celebrations be filled with light, warmth, and the company of those you love. This has been The Pagan Origins of Christmas, a biblical mysteries documentary. If this video illuminated the hidden history of your favorite holiday, please subscribe and share with others who seek understanding. Next time, we'll examine the Council of Nicaea, where church leaders gathered to determine what Christians would believe for centuries to come. Until then, may you find light in the darkness.